We already did the Bankai releases of the first 9 members of the Straw Hat Pirates if they are captain of the Gotei 13, and now that we're almost done drawing all of them, why not we finish it in this one final video? Will these upcoming Bankai releases more powerful than the first ones? And what do you think will be the Bankai of these 4 remaining Straw Hat members? Let's all find out in today's episode. But first, this video contains spoilers, so watch at your own risk. So strap in, let's grab our pencil, and let's draw, even if we are. As the first character to end this series, we have Roronoa Zoro as the Kenpachi of the Gotei 13. I had to admit that brainstorming Zoro's Bankai is very tough, and I hope you'll forgive me if this Bankai that I've came up with is not the ability that you'd expect. Although I did spend a handful amount of time researching Zoro's abilities, I find it hard to determine a unique characteristic that could be used as a reference for his Bankai. Since Bankai releases in the Bleach universe is known to have unique abilities, I would imagine Zoro should have at least one of them. We know that Zoro loves to move and use his 3 swords to fight, but how about we do the opposite for his Bankai release? Since his Shikai do exactly what he does in the world of One Piece, I decided to come up for a Bankai ability that lets Zoro defeat an enemy without lifting a single finger. Instead of 3, Zoro's Bankai form takes the form of a single normal-looking katana. By unleashing his Bankai, his opponent will be judged by their own spiritual energy through the eyes of a 3-headed demon with 6 arms as a tribute to Zoro's iconic Asura. Since we know that Zoro is a true swordsman, even victim caught by this form will be judged by a swordsman's codes and morals, such as that person's ethic, for example. If by chance his victim is not fitted by a swordsman's standard, he will then get betrayed by his own spiritual energy, causing the victim to get cut into pieces. Sounds fun, right? But before we continue this nonsense, I also just recently started selling all of my original artworks that is made on this channel. So, if you're interested in buying one including this artwork, be sure to check my shop in the description below or email or DM me on Instagram. I would love to see more lore of Zoro's abilities, so I think it would also be awesome if Zoro have other dangerous abilities even after this Bankai form. I'm still not sure what will it be, but if ever someone would be able to survive his Bankai, maybe Zoro can finally unsheath his single katana and reveal his ultimate ability. What do you think about this artwork? This might be the most intricate design I've done so far in this series, so I'd love to hear your opinions in the comment section. What do you think will be Frankie's Bankai release look like? You're absolutely right. It's obviously General Frankie. I'm just kidding. General Frankie might be our best pick here for his Bankai form, as it was shown to be his ultimate weapon in combat. However, I find it very simple and a straightforward copy in the world of One Piece. Also, I don't think a giant robot that is controlled by a person inside is a fitting choice in the Bleach universe. So I decided that instead of a giant robot, I chose to settle to an enormous weapon that, although it still looked like Frankie's controlling it, I made him to at least become visible while wielding it. Similar to other Bankai releases, his Zanpakuto's Bankai appearance and ability is a major upgrade of his Shikai. Still in dual form, Frankie wields 2 large futuristic vertical weapons armed with rockets and shoots massive and rapid spiritual energies. This weapon is also equipped with jetpacks as well as serves as a vehicle wherein Frankie can ride and maneuver in different directions. Since Frankie is the head of the research and development, we can agree that he also experimented with himself and even improved his Zanpakuto in this universe. So it would be awesome to make him and his Zanpakuto somehow merge each other. That would be a one hell scary sight. Anyways, I'm glad I did not go for a large robot as this Bankai form looks really sick. As for our next captain, the head of the 13th Division, no other than Jinbei. You might think designing Jinbei's Bankai form seems to be harder, but just drawing his Shikai release like several months ago, I already knew what should be his Bankai release would look like, and it's none other than a trident, which is his weapon as a former royal guard of the Ryugu Kingdom of the Fishman Island. And now, I don't know if a trident as a Bankai is underwhelming, so I made it look at least unique as possible. While taking a form of a silver trident with the design of a dragon's head, I imagine his ability to not only manipulate water in the environment, but can also manipulate the water levels of his opponents as well. What if by being near of Jinbei's trident for just a short amount of time, Jinbei can instantly raise or lower an enemy's water levels, making its cells burst or dried out? In my opinion, that would be interesting and horrifying at the same time. I also wanted to use Jinbei's animal counterpart, which is a whale shark, but since I originally settled for a trident as his Bankai, a dragon's head might be the cooler option here. But still, I'm really liking this Jinbei illustration so far with the trident, and though it might be one of the easiest drawings I've done in this series, it doesn't mean it's not one of the best artworks overall. And now for our final character to end this series, the head of the Gotei 13, the Captain Commander, Monkey D. Luffy. Similar to his Shikai ability, his Bankai release, I think, is so broken that aside from deforming any non-living objects, he can also deform living objects, and that includes his enemies. Imagine getting stretched and molded like a clay while still being alive, and that will totally traumatize anyone. Even the air molecules are not safe, as he can also turn the air around him as a weapon. Anyways guys, I just recently created my own webcomic series entitled BMW, short for Beyond New Worlds. It's a slice of life comic with a bit of romantic comedy, fantasy, and sci-fi. The story revolves around a character named Jack Jessup, who owns a failing home video rental store. Together with his friends and some non-human characters, they'll face the reality of the modern world. My dream is to make this comic running for years to come, so if you're interested in reading my webcomic series, give it some love by checking out my Patreon in the link in the description. Regarding his Bankai form, I always imagine it to look like Luffy's Gear 5 aesthetics. Thus, similar to Rukia Kuchiki, I made his hair white as well as his overall outfit, while his Zanpakuto's turns into purple material that wraps around his entire arms and neck. Come to think of it, while designing his Bankai form, I can't help but notice it to be very similar to Kinsei Muguruma's Bankai. So I somehow added some random white flames just to at least make them differ from each other. I may have been losing my creativity with this one, but I admit that it really turned out looking awesome. This series is one hell of a ride, and I can't thank you enough to joining me even after the end. If you're new here and you still haven't watched the other parts of this video, you might want to check out the previous episodes of this series in the link in the description below. Special thank you to my patrons in Patreon. This video will not be possible without your support. To see more of my content and to show your support to the channel, you might want to consider becoming a member in Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can now vote for our upcoming video topics with our monthly polls. We also have some amazing perks such as access to my full resolution drawings, early access to my future videos, coloring pages, digital drawings. You'll also have a chance to request your own character and get featured on my videos. And hey, I guess I also make webcomics now. For only $3 a month, you can read 2 pages a week of my silly dumb comic 3 months early. But if you're feeling impatient and doesn't want to wait every week, you can read all of the pages in one go for just $5 a month. So if you're interested in reading my webcomic, be sure to check it out. Another way to support the channel is to purchase some of my art prints in the in-print store. This includes some of my traditional drawings as well as the digital versions of my artworks. This is the Not So Good Artist, and remember, art is beautiful, life is wonderful.